You guys have done a great job keeping it working all these years and continuing on, but it's finally got to the point, like I said last night, the bones are good, but the fingers are falling off. So we need to fix the fingers. It is our most important piece of equipment over at what I call the sludge processing side of the plant. If that goes down, and we would have to buy a new one, you're looking at somewhere around the $400,000 range. That would be just to get just for a new belt press. And while we were in that process, if this belt press was not running, we would then have to hire somebody to haul sludge in liquid form. Find somewhere to dispose it, which would be an extremely high cost. I don't even know what the number would be. I just know that's not a cheap thing to have to go through. So that's why it's important to keep this belt press running. What this is the company that builds the presses, and they're the only ones that repair the presses as far as rebuilds and stuff like this. They don't allow anybody else to do it.
So do they keep this running when it's?
No, it will be down they say they can get it done in 12 days. We'll see how that goes. So what we're going to do is, it's a 20-week wait on the equipment. So in that time, we're going to press every bit of sludge we have in the clarifiers. We're going to run our clarifiers down to 0. And then through that 12 days, we should be able to maintain the sludge in our clarifiers until that's done. Okay. That's the plan. You know how plans are, but that's the plan. So it's just something we have to do.
Okay, so as part of the plan, worst case scenario, have you looked into the resource to have it hauled and disposed of?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Betting you're gonna do that.
Yes, I will. I'll have a backup.
wait till the
You know,
last
I'll have a backup plan just in case it's just like
goes
just like I have a backup pump for Front Street just in case it's something would happen. Yeah, you always got to have a contingency.
Yeah, okay.
But that's as it stands right now. We've had the belt press down for a week before when we had to replace the whole belt system some years back, and we was able to maintain for the week. So we think if we get everything pressed out as much as we can, get everything as empty as we can, we should be able to handle a 2-week delay of pressing. But we'll have some in our back pocket.
So
in
it's
case.
all contracted and everything else then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these two ordinances, this the second half of the process.
So the other one
Whenever
is,
we approve some of these other projects, this happens, but we don't see it, it goes straight to the council.
well, you guys should have seen this beforehand, but it didn't work out because of the way things laid out. So that's why we had to do it the other way around. I hated doing that, but I really had no choice in the matter.
No problem.
And then the other one that you guys approved was the influent pumps for Vandeventer.
Right.
We have 4 influent pumps at the station. On the plant side, the influent pumps on that side are the most important part of the treatment plant. Everything that from Washington goes into the influent wet well, and then it's pumped up out of the wet well into the gravity system of the headworks. So everything from there is gravity, but if we can't pump them up from the wet well into the gravity side, into the channels, we can't process the sewage.
Right.
So we can't have that happen. We're very fortunate in the fact that when the plant was built, it's in 2 cells, so we have 2 pumps in 1 cell we can isolate, and 2 pumps in the other cell we can isolate. All 4 of them need to be redone. It's just we gotta do 2 at a time, so that's what this one is for. This is the first step. We'll get these 2 done, and then we'll transition into moving on to the other ones at a later date.
Are those the original pumps?
They are the original
They
pumps.
have not had a major overhaul since?
No,
So that's 20 years plus.
yeah, 14, I guess. We
14.
put the plan online in 2009, so it'd be about 14 years.
14.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you gotta stop and think, these pumps run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they don't ever stop.
Yeah.
They keep on running, so, and when you've got the head that you're pushing up pipe into the headworks, there's all kinds of vibration, the pumps vibrate, all that movement and everything, the pumps have wore into the concrete base, so the pumps have settled a little bit, which has now separated the pipes. So we have to replace the pipes because the pipe they use is not a reusable pipe if they start to separate. There's got a clamp, and a clamp, it's a mess. So everything has to be replaced up to the open air of the wet well, so everything in the wet well has to be replaced.
Okay.
We're fortunate in the fact that the stainless rails that the pumps ride on doesn't have to be replaced. The stainless rails are expensive in themselves, so we're lucky we can save money on not replacing the stainless rails that lift the pumps, or allows to lift the pumps, so,
So in the best case scenario, it's a couple weeks.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on that piece of the plant? Okay, then let's move on to water.
Water is, doing good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, pumps are running. We're not really having a lot of problems with them. I would say a lot of problems. Disinfection is always a problem. It's gonna be an ongoing problem. Pumps that we have problems with, chlorine leaking, spraying all over the place, stuff like that, but that's just an operational thing. New tanks running is doing great out there online.
All the testing continues to go well.
Yes, continues to go well. We are in the process, we're still waiting for one well for our UCMR reporting, which is the PFOS and the PFAS and stuff like that. Once they get that sample done, they've been having problems with well 9, not our problem with well 9. Every time we send a sample into the lab to test, they have a lab failure, so we keep on getting a bottle back because something's happened at the lab. So we're keeping it, that one did that one go out yet? Did Dylan get that one the other day? Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yeah, so that should be out, so here in a month or 2 months, or however long it's gonna take, and we should get our report back on the PFOS and the PFAS on that. I don't anticipate any problems, because they've already tested 8 of our other wells, and if there was a problem, we'd see it one of the other ones, and we'd already be notified, so I think we're good on that, so that's one thing we don't have to worry about. We did pull some samples at the treatment plant for PFOS and PFAS. We haven't got those back yet, to see if we have anything in the sewage, so we're trying to stay on top of that. That's a ongoing issue, regulation that's gonna be changing and ever evolving, so,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Okay. Front Street, you ready to cut the pavement today?
Front Street, we've already got the concrete tore out. The guys, the crew that worked in the rain yesterday, I tell you, we're very fortunate to have the crew we have. Worked in the rain yesterday. We tore out all the concrete that we had to tear out, took down a fence, put temporary fence up, set up the bypass pump. Got everything ready. Understall from Pacific should be rolling in any minute now with their track-hoe. Hopefully we're digging by 8:30, and we'll have 3 trucks running around the clock. Well, running around the clock, we're not gonna work around the clock. Continuously running to haul, so we should be able to dig and hopefully get the manhole. The goal is to get the manhole set today. It usually takes about 4 hours to get a manhole set with a backhoe. Track-hoe, hopefully we can knock it down to 2. But the goal is to get the manhole in today and then finish up tomorrow with the rest of the piping. Met with the guys this morning. They all feel that if everything goes good, they'll work until they get the pipe all put in today. And we're flowing normal, so they're ambitious. We'll see what happens.
Good.
But
That's
the
a good
goal,
thing.
the goal is at least get the manhole set today.
Yeah,
If we can get the manhole set today and we can get a piece of pipe out, we can move our bypass pumping, which we're doing at the exit to the depot. We can move that pump down to where the manhole will be set, and then we won't have to have Front Street closed down tonight. We have to close Front Street because we have to pump out of the Oak Street manhole into the manhole that we're pumping out of. So we gotta bypass the bypass.
so so where's the new manhole going?
It's gonna be directly in line with Oak Street, right to where the old one is. We're taking out and putting a new one in.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be right in the same spot. So it'll be actually, that's actually at the entrance to the parking lot of the depot, for the train depot. But that's, if we can do that, that'd be even better, because then we can open up Front Street again tonight, like we did last night. But
Good.
if not, it'll have to be closed, but that's for a later
Well,
time to see.
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes.
Gotta maintain. Any questions on that, anybody? No? Other old business, I just have a question, because it comes up from time to time. How's all the paperwork with DNR requirements and writing and rewriting and getting everything up to date? I know that the last time we talked, you were in the middle of something. It wasn't an urgent thing, but we were,
We are we're still working on our lead and copper. We're actually ready to send it off. We're kind of holding off a little bit. It's due October 16th. It will be turned in before October 16th because it's ready to go. Just kind of waiting. We're adding a few little dates and stuff just to kind of tweak it a little bit. Not concerned about that at all. Washington's very fortunate in the fact that they kept great records. So we have records all the way back to the 1800s showing that we used copper for service line. Now, there was some lead in there, but over the years, as time went on, anytime there was a water break or a service line worked on, if we came across anything that was lead, we immediately took it out and replaced it with copper. So, best we can tell, as of right now, we think we maybe have 5 addresses that might have a little bit of copper in them yet. But the good thing is,
You mean lead?
lead, I'm sorry, lead. Whether it's a lead line or what they call a lead whip, which is a connector that goes from the main to the galvanized, because you can't been galvanized. But what we'll do is, we have to send our report in, our inventory. And then in 3 years, because that's when we take our lead and copper samples, we will have to show that we did 10% of something on that inventory. So what we'll do is we'll take the area which we know is down here, and we'll do 10% of this area, and we'll pothole to see what we've got. So there will be some what they call unknowns on the list, because you want to have some unknowns, because you don't want to finish the list completely, because there's requirements after the list is turned in. After inventory is turned in, you have to do things to show you're improving the system. So you can't say you got a perfect system, because everybody knows the system's not perfect. There will be some what they call unknowns out there, just because we're not sure on some of it. So the unknowns that are out there, every address that's considered an unknown, in 30 days, I will have to send them, or we will have to send them a letter letting them know that it is unknown what their service line is, and then we'll send them the information about lead and copper and what it can do to you and all the other stuff. That's a follow-up of what we have to do after the inventory's in. So we'll take care of that. Once we get the inventory in, we'll send out letters to the unknowns, and which there won't be a lot. Right now, we're looking at probably 1,500-ish, something like that. But like I said, we got to keep something to be able to improve in. So right now, I like to call it a dance. We're dancing with DNR and the EPA to take care of something that should have been taken care of in 1976 when the rule came out. But
Sure.
that's neither here nor there. But
All right.
so that's good. As far as any other DNR stuff, all of our our inspections that we went through here a while back, all we came out good with. So it's all
It's all good.
we're doing all right now. So we have a good reputation with DNR. So
Darren, Mayor, anything for us this morning?
I see, working on Front Street.
All right. Any other comments or a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Make one comment on the, I apologize for the minutes not being recorded voice-wise. I am making sure someone's here until NOC makes us a proper packet. Right now, we have 3 or 4 packets back there, and it's a little confusing. So I apologize again for last month, and we'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Okay. That's quite all right. I think we've got a pretty good track record. That's the first time that's ever happened that I'm aware of, and that's,
yeah, and that's part of when you go away from somebody writing on a piece of paper what was said all the time to
Well, yeah,
relying
we've
on
come a long
electronics.
way.
I love electronics. I'm an electronics nut, but electronics can bite you every once in a while, and that's what it did last month. It bit us. So
okay. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 22nd. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
well.
Back to work.
Not raining today.
Not raining. That's a good thing, right?
Every time we take our coats off, thinking it was gonna stop raining, and start raining on us.
You been staying busy, Mike?
Busy, I wanna be. October.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it quits
All
at
of
the end of the
the
year.
excess flow from all of the building that's going on below.
Well, that's
you guys,
good.
past you guys.
And you can get busier.
The sewer line.
I'll still piddle around, do a
Really?
Yeah.
Where's it gonna go?
It's going into a gravity line, it's picking up that lift station that's back there, and it's gonna be grinding all the way down. So everything that gets pumped from Victoria Manor south of east or where it gets into south.
Yeah, 'cause.
Yeah, all of that now goes to that pump station, that lift station that's down there in the corner.
Yeah.
And it pumps up to the manhole that's right up the corner of Rabbit Trail.
Now, when they put in that,